I want to talk trends because injectables may not be for you, and a lot of times they're also maybe out of your price range. So we've gathered up some of the hottest skincare products you can find online, all under 20 buckarooskies.
Yes.
Dr. B, you are a product connoisseur, often trying things out yourself, which I love. So what do we have?
So the first thing we have is all over the internet, and this is also a huge hit on Amazon. This is for a gua sha facial. And so gua sha is a Chinese technique that you may have heard about on the body, where they talk about scraping the skin to release pain and tension, and it often leaves little bruises when you see the photos. They're actually very dramatic. They're called petechiae. But when you do this on the face, you have to be much more gentle. The goal is not to bruise. But when we do this, we're always talking about draining the lymphatics, so to depuff, to release those muscles, to improve the circulation to the skin. And there are two ways to do this. You usually want to look for jade products, and you can get these for like 12 bucks online. So not expensive, but the idea of jade is that it's a very cooling stone, and it also has Chinese properties. The thought is that it disperses negative energy, and it promotes the balance of energy, which I believe is called qi or qi, depending what you read. But the idea is whenever you do this, you're always going upwards and outwards.
You want to do it on me?
Sure, absolutely. So the idea is you take the firm but soft part of the stone if you're using the stone.
So you can use the stone or this roller device?
Exactly. And I think they kind of have different uses. When you do the stone, you're firm, but you're not hurting someone. And I'm not trying to give him any red marks or any welts.
Well, let me just say, I've had the gua sha technique on my back, and this is much more subtle, which is important because my back looked like that picture after, and you don't want... It actually is very soothing.
Yeah.
Can we keep going?
We're just going to do this for the rest of the show now. Dr. Stork has had a rough day.
Yeah.
But
you look so much more relaxed already.
It's nice.
Yeah, and so you're using the contour of the stone around your own bones. You're always starting from the neck, going upwards and outwards. Now, this may not be for everyone because it takes a little bit of activation to use the stone, though personally I think the results are a little better from this because you get a more firm massage.
How much is something like that?
Like, you can buy this for less than $10.
Okay.
You know, a good authentic one maybe $15, depending on the source, but very reasonable. Cool. And then with this kind of a jade roller, it's the same idea. You're using it to depuff. Around the eyes is a great place to use it. I keep mine in the freezer, and then I apply my serum first, and that way you have the aspect of the cold, which is going to shrink those lymphatics and those blood vessels and just help depuff you. So this is actually kind of a really cool, inexpensive trend. Great way to freshen up. And when you use the roller, it's a nice thing because sheet masks are all the rage right now. It's a nice way to go over your sheet mask and get those products to absorb a little bit better.
Nika has coarse, tangled hair, and it's a struggle, right? Brushing it every day?
All the time. My hair is such a hassle, and it gets so frustrating.
So I found a detangling brush that you can use on wet hair or dry hair. It works too. And I have to tell you, this shaved off about 30 minutes out of my beauty routine. And so, Nika, we're going to have you brush one side of your hair with a regular paddle brush. So I'll have you start doing that. Now watch how this kind of just...
It's not good.
Doing this. And parents at home know how much of a struggle, if you have children, how fussy they are. You try to brush out their hair. This is not working.
No.
Okay, so now I want you to try this brush on the other side of your head.
Thanks.
So we can compare. Look at how that just glides.
Yeah, it's so different.
That is money.
Yeah.
Under $10.
Under 10 bucks.
I highly recommend it. The bristles actually move with the hair shaft. They're more flexible. And I also like how it has vents on the back, so when you're blow drying your hair, you actually blow dry it quicker.
So what's the name of that brush?
It's called a wet brush, and you can find it online. Comes in a number of varieties. This one's my favorite.
A lot of us have heard about wet brushes, especially parents, but I think the fact that this is a paddle brush with the vents is such a clever idea because we know that over-brushing your hair can damage it so much. But the interesting tip that I think is great for these types of brushes is that certainly if you have straight or fine hair, it's a great idea to brush it when it's wet. But actually if you have curly or kinky hair, you're much better off brushing it when it's dry because it's so much less damaging. So, but great tip, less than 10 bucks. I love it. These are some great buys under $20. The first is Indian clay. So this is clay that comes from areas where there's volcanic ash that's settled. And clay, as you may recall, has been around for centuries, basically, to draw out toxins and impurities. In this case, the bentonite clay actually has calcium, it has magnesium, it has sodium, all these minerals from the earth. And you can buy a 1 pound tub of this for $8.40.
Wow, I mean, think about it. Cleopatra used this.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe cave women use this. I don't know.
I mean, so the idea is you get it as this vat of powder, and you can mix it to a consistency you like, whether it's with water or they suggest apple cider vinegar, and you pat it onto your skin, put it on like a mask for 10 to 20 minutes, and it's great for acne-prone or oily skin, or just someone like me who wears a ton of makeup and has to take it off and wants to get those toxins out. But this one made me smile because I've been doing clay masks since I was a kid, probably 35 years. So a real classic that's still around and is a #1 seller online.
I went all the way to the Dead Sea to get a clay facial. That's it. Look at that. You know, I didn't want to just do the facial. I went for the full body. What's next?
Next one is also a really classic one. It's witch hazel toner. And witch hazel, as many of us know, is derived from a plant. And the original idea of toners came out when people used to want to balance the pH of their skin. Now, the downside of buying something like this is nowadays many of the cleansers already are pH balanced, so you don't necessarily have to use a toner. But I will say a lot of people really like that astringent aspect where after they've washed their face, they want to get every last trace of makeup or dirt off. So this is a nice thing just to wipe over your face with a cotton ball. Or again, this is a really nice makeup remover. So you could use this as a first layer and then follow it with your cleanser. Again, this one, much less than $20. You can get different formulations. This one happens to have aloe and glycerin, which is pretty hydrating as well. And I love this one for under $10 online because it's so simple and so straightforward. So the idea here is it comes with a water and gel handpiece that you put in the freezer and keeps it nice and cold.
It feels really good.
And this is a great way to depuff, calm inflammation. For my rosacea or redness-prone patients, this is a great thing to take with you to the gym and put in a little cooler insulated bag. And you can do it after your workout calm those blood vessels down. But what I love about this is it actually stays cold for quite some time. So when I tested this out, I had the genius idea of taking it to my office and using it after my laser treatments on people because it's a great way to draw that heat out of the skin very quickly. Pores? I don't think it'll truly shrink your pores because that's really more dependent on the amount of sebum you have in genetics. But we do know that that's going to settle down inflammation. It's going to depuff you. It's going to decrease redness. So, and a lot of nice benefits for something so inexpensive. There are 500 million of these sold in the United States. Huge hit on Amazon. You can get a pack of 7 for $10. And what these are self-heating steam masks. So I'm going to open these up for you guys and show you because what they do is they rely on chemistry. They have iron powder and water in them.
Yes.
And it forms a chemical reaction when it's exposed to oxygen, and they heat up on their own.
Oh
so
my
this
God.
is, you don't microwave them, you don't do anything, but they are really cute. And you have like a little ear holder piece, and you just put them on like this as a mask. That it's warm, moist heat, which, like me, if you suffer from dry eyes, is actually a really great way to relax those eyes after you've been at a screen all day. And they do have a little bit of aromatherapy. These are lavender.
Smells good.
I find that really relaxing. Some people don't care for scents, so if you do have allergic tendencies, be a little cautious about using these or try to get the scent-free kind. But I think we're just going to cancel the rest of the show.
Myself. How about for a little nap?